As the sun sets on Wall Street and the last of the traders pack up their briefcases, a hush falls over the city. The only sound is the low hum of the Federal Reserve Building, a monolithic structure that towers over the rest of the financial district. It's hard to believe that this unassuming building holds the key to our economic stability, but it's true. The Federal Reserve, or the Fed, as it's commonly known, is the most powerful institution in the world of finance. But what exactly is the Fed and what does it do? That's what I'm here to tell you. Are you curious about the inner workings of the Federal Reserve and how they affect your money? I remember the day the Federal Reserve was first explained to me. It was like a light bulb went off in my head. Suddenly, the mysteries of the economy and the inner workings of the financial world made sense. The Federal Reserve, or Fed, as it's often called, is the central banking system of the United States. It is in charge of putting monetary policy into action, supervising and regulating banks, and giving the U.S. government financial services. One of the most important roles of the Fed is to control the money supply. By raising or lowering interest rates, the Fed can change the economy by making people more likely to borrow and spend or less likely to do so. This is called monetary policy, and it's a powerful tool that can be used to stabilize the economy during times of crisis, like the 2008 recession. Another key role of the Fed is as a regulator of the banking system. The Fed oversees the safety and soundness of banks and other financial institutions, making sure they are operating within the law and aren't taking on too much risk. This helps to protect consumers and ensure the stability of the financial system. The Fed also helps the U.S. government with its finances. For example, it issues and manages the country's debt. This helps to keep the government running smoothly and finance important programs and services. But the Fed isn't just an abstract institution, it's made up of real people. The Fed is run by a board of governors, which is made up of 7 people chosen by the President and approved by the Senate. The most powerful member is the chairman, who serves as the public face of the Fed and often testifies before Congress. I have also seen the Fed in action during times of crisis, such as the 2008 recession. I saw with my own eyes how the Fed's actions helped to stabilize the financial system and keep the economy from falling apart completely. It was a sobering reminder of how important the Fed is to the financial health of every American. These are just a few of the many ways the Federal Reserve impacts our lives and the economy. It's an incredibly powerful institution, and understanding how it works is essential for anyone looking to navigate the financial world. As I dove deeper into the inner workings of the Federal Reserve, I began to uncover some disturbing truths. For starters, despite its name, the Federal Reserve is neither a government agency nor a reserve. It is a private corporation, owned and controlled by a group of powerful banks. This means that the decisions made by the Federal Reserve have a direct impact on the economy, but they are not accountable to the American people. One of the biggest criticisms of the Federal Reserve is its role in creating boom and bust cycles. The Federal Reserve can artificially stimulate the economy by changing interest rates and the amount of money in circulation. This can lead to a boom. But when the Fed raises interest rates to cool down the economy, it can trigger a recession or even a depression. This happened in 2008, when the Fed's low interest rates fueled the housing bubble, which eventually burst and led to the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. Another negative aspect of the Federal Reserve is its secretive nature. The Federal Reserve's meetings and decision-making processes are not open to the public, and its actions are often shrouded in secrecy. This lack of transparency can make it difficult for the average person to understand how monetary policy is affecting the economy. It's important to note that the Federal Reserve is not a monolithic institution, and it's not always in agreement on how to approach monetary policy. But it's important for the public to know how the Federal Reserve works and how it affects the economy so we can hold it responsible for what it does. The Federal Reserve is a powerful institution that plays a major role in shaping the economy of the United States and the world. One of the most important figures within the Federal Reserve is the chairman. But how is the chairman chosen, and what powers do they have? The President of the United States chooses the chairman of the Federal Reserve, and the Senate makes sure he or she is right for the job. After being chosen, the chairman has a 4-year term during which they have a lot of power over the economy and monetary policy. One of the most important powers of the chairman is their ability to set interest rates. Interest rates are one way that the Federal Reserve can control inflation and keep the economy stable. By raising or lowering interest rates, the Federal Reserve can influence how much money is available for borrowing and spending, which in turn affects economic growth and inflation. Another important power of the chairman is their ability to control the money supply. The Federal Reserve can use a variety of tools to increase or decrease the amount of money in circulation, which can also affect economic growth and inflation. The Federal Reserve is also very important because it oversees banks and other financial institutions to make sure they are safe and sound. This is important for maintaining stability in the financial system and protecting consumers. Overall, the Federal Reserve has a huge effect on the country's economy and financial health. The chairman and the Federal Reserve as a whole have the power to influence interest rates, control the money supply, and regulate the banking system. It is important for individuals to understand the role of the Federal Reserve and how it affects their personal finances. As I stand here, looking out over this vast landscape of finance and economic power, I can't help but feel a sense of gravity. The Federal Reserve, as I've outlined previously, holds immense power over our economy. The decisions made within its walls ripple outward, affecting us all. And yet, so few truly understand how it operates. As the sun sets on this discussion of the Fed, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. The chairman, appointed by the President and confirmed by the Senate, holds immense power. But they are only one member of the Federal Reserve Board, and their decisions are made in concert with their colleagues. And it is not a federal agency, nor does it have any reserves. It is a private corporation owned by its member banks. It is important to remember that the Fed is not infallible. Its actions can have unintended consequences, and its very power can be a double-edged sword. But it is also a necessary part of our economic system, and its actions can stabilize markets and prevent financial crises. The Federal Reserve is a complex and nuanced institution, and I urge you to continue your research and education on the subject. Stay informed, stay engaged, and always question the status quo. As the last rays of sunlight disappear below the horizon. My hope is that this discussion has shed some light on the inner workings of the Fed and that it will encourage you to delve deeper into the subject. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.